Good morning. This is a quick video just to kind of tell you about our next spreadsheet project, which is called the Fast Food Project. So what I'm going to do is pull up the instruction sheet for you and just kind of highlight a few things before you get started so that hopefully it will make sense what you're supposed to do. So the instruction sheet is on Google Classroom. So here it is. This is called the Fast Food Project, and the goal of this is for each student to look at fast food that's out there and kind of try to figure out what type of foods are healthier choices at these types of places. I know not everybody eats fast food, so if you don't eat fast food, then you may have to kind of make up your choices when you get to it, and that's fine. So this little introductory paragraph tells you about what we're going to do. You have some choices as far as nutritional facts that you will look at. These are probably the most common ones that people care about when they're thinking about what's healthy and what's not. So calories, fat, sodium, protein, or cholesterol. Okay, those are kind of some of the most ones that people track to determine whether something's healthy or not. And the cholesterol may be difficult for you to find all of the information on, but almost every place that I've looked, you can find calories, fat, sodium, and protein. So the first thing you are going to do is you're going to decide what type of comparison you're going to do. And there's two choices here, okay, 1 and 2. The first one is you just think about the restaurants that you go to and what you would typically get there, okay? Now notice that you do have to collect 4 nutritional facts per food or drink item from 4 restaurants, okay? So here's an example. If you go to Panda Express, you would figure out what you typically order there. Orange chicken panda bowl with fried rice, cream cheese rangoon, Chipotle, and if you do something like Chipotle, you have to list out all of the stuff that you put into the bowl. Otherwise, you're not getting accurate representation of the nutritional content of what you're eating. Okay, so this first example is 4 restaurants and 4 different meals that a person might choose there. Okay, the second way you can do this analysis is to choose the same meal or a very similar meal at 4 different restaurants. So an example of that would be a meal of a regular cheeseburger, French fries, and a vanilla shake at McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and Dairy Queen. Okay, so you choose one of these methods. Okay, you don't have to do both of them. You choose one. Okay. So then you set up your spreadsheet depending on what type of analysis you're going to do. And I give you a little picture of an example. This obviously is an example of this first choice where you do 4 different restaurants. Okay, and this is just the Panda Express restaurant. So you choose how you set up your spreadsheet, but you got to make sure that it makes sense for the calculations and graphing that you're going to do. So you are going to have to total up the information for each meal at each restaurant, okay, in order to make comparisons. So an example here would be the items are listed here. The restaurant is kind of the title of this section of the spreadsheet. Then what they order here, then there's a total line, and then a percent of nutrient goal, okay? So calories, fat, sodium, and protein is what this person decided to look at for each item, and then you'll have to total that and figure out the percent of your nutrient goal, okay? So again, you can set it up how you want. This is just one way to do it. You just need to make sure that you can do your calculations in a way that makes sense, okay? So if you're not sure about any of this as you're going, feel free to ask me, okay? This is just kind of giving you an example. So you're going to have to use the official company website to get your nutritional information. You can't just Google it, okay? You must use the official company website. Every major fast food restaurant has a nutritional section of their website. So if you have problems finding it, let me know, but you must use their official site. And then you're going to hyperlink so that I can see where you got your information. Okay, so you can see this Panda Express title is a hyperlink. If this were inside the spreadsheet, I could click it and it would take you to where I got the nutritional information. Okay, so then you spend time finding all of your information. And then here, this section is all about figuring out daily nutritional goals. Okay, and that's what this section is right here. What we're going to do is find nutritional goals for a person of your gender and age. Okay, so here I am pretending that I'm a 12-year-old girl. Okay, and I looked up the information that the recommended nutritional goals for a 12-year-old girl for calories, fat, sodium, and protein. Okay, and while we're talking about this, I want to make sure that you are noticing the different types of units that are in our spreadsheet, how we are figuring out the nutritional value of things. So fat is in grams, and this will show up for you as you're looking them up. Sodium is in milligrams, protein is in grams, and calories in itself is a unit of measure. What you have to be careful of is that you put what unit of measure it is up here in the title, okay, or here in the section that you're talking about it. You do not put it with your numbers, okay? For example, on the Orange Chicken Panda Bowl that has, I think that says 18 grams of fat, I just put the number 18 in there. You cannot put the unit of measure inside of there, like 18g or 18 grams, because then when you go to do your calculations, use your formulas and functions, if you have text inside of there, it won't be able to add that stuff up or do division or multiplication, whatever you need to do. So any type of unit of measure has to be up here or over here, not with the numbers, okay? All right, so this gives you a hyperlink to where you can find dietary guidelines for Americans by gender and age. So make sure if you're a boy, you look for the male one. If you're a girl, you look for the female one, and you find your correct age. Okay, then just take a minute when you get to it and read through. I try to kind of give you an example here about how to use those goals. So kind of read through those when you get to it. Then you will do some graphing. Okay, you're going to choose what you graph, but keep comparison and analysis in mind. You're going to have a minimum of 4 relevant graphs. Okay, this tells you, if you're unfamiliar with graphing, to watch this little introduction video. We have done lots of graphing in here, so you should be covered there. Okay, so here's some examples of what you might graph. Okay, so I gave you just kind of 5 little examples here, and then took some screenshots of some examples that folks have done in the past. What you have to be careful here is, again, comparing things at different units of measure. Like, you would not want to compare something that is measured in milligrams with something that is measured in grams. It's just not going to work, okay? It will make your graph look all out of scale, okay? So these give you 4 or 5 little suggestions and then example graphs here, okay? So the last part of the assignment is going to be to analyze and report your findings, okay? So you are going to look at your graphs, look at your numbers, and you're going to write in paragraph form to talk about what you found that was interesting, okay? What did you discover? What surprised you? How will this information perhaps change your behavior? Okay, you will use a text box on your spreadsheet, so you don't have to create a separate Google Doc, and then I kind of explain to you how you do that right there. Okay, so this will have several sections to it for this assignment, but I wanted to give you a quick intro so that when you are ready, when you're finished with our last assignment, you can jump right in and get started on it. Okay, feel free to ask me questions at any time. Thanks.